Hi there. In this video, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time inside Tailwind to show you a little bit about how you can analyze group boards that you're a part of and to see whether they're worth sticking around on. Personally, I find group boards a funny thing. So I get the premise, I understand the premise that it's a collaborative effort, everyone pins in and then shares each other's content. And it does work. So there's definitely a number of boards that I'm a member of that send traffic to my website. But then there's other boards that don't seem to do anything. And I do wonder if by association with boards that maybe aren't active enough or that the content isn't curated properly, that by association you get marked down by the Pinterest algorithm. Now I don't know this for a fact, but it's certainly something worth thinking about. And so about once a month or so I like to just go in and have a look at how my group boards are performing and whether or not I want to stay with them. Now it can be a little bit tricky to kind of get the exact data out of this that you're looking for, but it's worth coming in and having a bit of an overview. So I've gone here into Board Insights. So it's under track your brand page, Board Insights, and then I've just selected that I'm only looking at my group board. So as you can see, we've got a few bits of information here. It shows you the total number of pins in a board and how many have been added in the last 7 days. Shows you how many followers there are on a board, or whether that follower count's gone up or down. Repins is obviously the number of pins that have been repinned out to that board. And then we've got these two numbers over here, which is a virality score and an engagement score. So the one we're going to look at here is the virality score. So what that is a number, basically it's just the number of repins divided by the total number of pins in the board. The higher this number, the more active the group board is. What this is telling you, so if we look at this one as an example, is that in total the board has, let's call it 900 pins, but over the last 7 days, nearly 3,000 repins have come out of those 900 pins. So pretty much every pin in that board on average is getting repinned 3 times. So that's what this number is telling us. The higher the number, the more of the pins are getting repinned out there. Repinning is a key part of a Pinterest strategy because if nobody's repinning your pins, then nobody's going to be seeing them. It makes sense to keep an eye on this number. Now this board does send me traffic every month, so I'm pretty happy that this correlation does kind of work. This board, the next one down, blogging, this sends me traffic every month as well, and we can see here that the virality score is 1. So basically, pretty much every pin gets repinned. So it doesn't mean literally every pin gets repinned, but the average is for the number of pins on the board, that many repins are coming out of the board. So for a board with this many pins on it, you can see it's a big board. It's got a lot of members. That 1-to-1 ratio is pretty good. There's a lot of stuff getting repinned from that board. So looking at it that way, I find this virality score is particularly good. And by the way, I've sorted this just like that. You can just click up there and it will sort it from highest to lowest. So moving down, again, this board sends me traffic. You can see that there's a lot of pins on the board, and we're nearly getting our 1-to-1 pin ratio happening there. So again, this tells me this board's pretty active, so I'm happy to stay on it. But if we look at something like this, there's about 5,000 pins on this board, but only about 2.5 getting repinned a month, which obviously here is our virality score of 0.5. It's about half. I might start paying attention to this board and really checking into my Google Analytics to see if it's driving any traffic to my website. This kind of tells me that maybe people on the board aren't as active as ideally we'd like them to be. And sure, the same sort of information is coming out of this one. But as we're talking about such volume, it makes me less concerned about this. Looking at this board here, okay, there's a lot of pins on it. So people are pinning a lot of their own stuff, but they're not really repinning each other's stuff. So, is this board working? Same sort of idea here. What I've been doing is keeping an eye on this kind of thing, and gradually over time I'm just taking myself off boards that I feel aren't really showing the type of engagement that typically you want a group board to have. So hopefully that helps. I know the stats around Pinterest can be really confusing and overwhelming, so this is obviously just one small part of the puzzle, but hopefully you'll find it helpful as part of your analysis of the Pinterest group boards that you're joining.